But first, I just want to see this video because a friend sent it to me and said it's a sick video. So let's check this out. It's basically why CS2 feels like 60 Hz. Robs. Hey, Counter-Strike, I don't think it's fair to decide the best player and teams in the tournament, I guess, with 100 FPS. Not a single system is safe from this.
You're never safe from dropping your FPS to 100. Your frames will betray you faster than your solo queue teammate holding B site on Inferno. Last time, I promised a deeper dive, so here it is. People keep saying demos perform 100% worse than real games. Well, no, I've got data to prove quite the opposite. In fact, live games are usually worse, thanks to the network overhead. Robs literally felt it on stage, and trust me, it was even worse than you would see in the demo. And it's just not what's on your screen. Utility across the map, people just moving around, or even some random guy shooting on the other side. All of this can tank your FPS. In this video, I'll show you why AnimGraph 2 won't magically fix all of the performance issues.
What did Loba say? Loba told you, listen, I told you AnimGraph 2 won't fix. You have to accept the fact that these devs working now for CS2 are really bottom of Valve. They are really trash. And how to prove this is just like go to their Twitter and you'll see, you're having input lag, put FPS max 100. Listen, my mom, she's blind on one eye. She has no hands, no legs. She can't speak. She would never say something that stupid because she can't speak. My mom would never do that. Okay, she's not blind. She has her arms, legs, and throwing. But she will never say this. These guys, devs, are brain dead. Like, you gotta accept the fact that they're brain dead. They are on the level of a Restream Pixel. That's their IQ. That's who they want to play the game. That's what they're hunting. So don't expect much from this game, bro. Today's video is sponsored by RainGG. Rain is one of the fastest growing CS2 case opening sites. Besides fun case openings, they offer game modes like case battles, upgrader, and doubles. Rain gives players free daily, weekly, and monthly cases. If you sign up with my code Loba, you get 3 free cases and 5 deposit bonus. The site supports instant deposit and withdrawals using skins or crypto. If you want to try Rain, click the first link in the pinned comment and use code Loba to claim your rewards. Please remember, loot boxes sites can be addictive, so make sure you're over 18 and only spend money you can afford to lose. Good luck.
Why your mouse sometimes feels so sticky and laggy with random input lag. Why your game just feels like 60 Hz even if your FPS shows like 240. And how bad performance makes Peaker's advantage even worse. And no, even with the 9800 X3T and the RTX 5090, you're not.
This is what I have. I have this and 5090. And the game still feels like trash, especially if I play on above 20 or so. If I play above 30 ping, it feels like I'm playing on 150 FPS. If I play on 15 to 20 ping, which is almost impossible because I'm from Montenegro, it feels a bit better. So I think LAN feels better, but still much worse than CSGO. But you can see, if you have a brain, like you guys know, I told you Elige is getting kicked from FaZe when I just saw the vlog. You remember I saw the vlog? I told you I know some stuff they're saying about him from previous teams and current teams. And I told you he's getting kicked. It happened. Look, Magazine messaged me. He's like, bro, you look here. Bro, you said, it's funny, you said this a few days ago. Here, Magazine messaged me today. Here you can read it. The way you said it a few days ago, I don't know if you can see it. Here you are. And I just said, it was easy to read. Plus, I have some info on the side. Same thing is with the pros. You can see when, like Monesi, who was sick in CSGO, streaming CSGO, loved CSGO, barely plays CS2, is saying, his answer is CSGO or CS2? CS2, I live in the future. And I'm like, I live in the present. I'm like, okay, cool, but he didn't ask you where you live. He asked you, at this point, what game is better? And then the other guy's answering like, CS2 because I win in CS2. You know, like, the guys are just getting paid, and you can see in their behavior and their answers that they're just saying it because of the money. There's no passion anymore. If they had passion, you would see Monesi chilling on stream for 4 or 5 hours, figuring out the game like he used to do it in CSGO when he joined G2, when he was grinding, when he was playing a lot. Now you see him playing like 50% less. So he likes the game, he loves the game, it's a better game, but he just plays it 50% less. And he sucks in the game compared to how good he was in CSGO. And the answer, what's better, CSGO or CS2? CS2, I live in the present. Brain dead.
Bulletproof. So let's get right into it. Now, back to the topic. Some claim demos are 100% worse than what you would see performance in the live game. That's fundamentally wrong. In real games, you've got...
I mean, bro, if you're looking at comments on Reddit, 99% of the comments on the Reddit or the comments from Gay Follower and Aquamoronius are wrong. They're pretty much dudes commenting who don't play the game and never reached anything in the game. They were always trash. At least I can say something about the game because I at least qualified to FPLC, FPL, played the major qualifier RMR in CSGO, so I did do some things. These guys never even got to level 10. All they do is glaze skins and look at the restreaming. He looks at a streamer restreaming another streamer restreaming the major, and they spam emotes in chat, so you can't really trust those guys commenting that they know something.
Networking overhead, one of the main issues Animgraph 2 is even trying to fix. In reality, live games give worse FPS than demos, unless you enable X-ray and mess with the playback of demo. Here's a round I recorded live while logging in CapFrameX, and then also in demo. Orange is demo, blue is live. Look at the numbers.
So blue is worse, bro.
Average frame time is way better in the demo than the live version. The demo has better average FPS, better 1% lows, and better P1 values. Standard deviation for live game is worse by 100%. Frame to frame pacing, RMSST, is again worse by almost 100%. Same story with every single metric. Look at the graph of frame time above 4 milliseconds. Live frames, which are orange, break the 240Hz cycle far more often than the yellow one. So yeah, demos actually perform better. So basically what Robs felt in that game was worse than what you guys saw in your demos. Here's another comparison. You'll see some identical spikes. In fact, these two graphs give a slightly noisy difference of how networking in CS2 makes CS2 performance even worse. The next step I want to talk about is average FPS. That makes people think they have great performance. Most of you guys run this benchmark map to say your 1% lows are fine. But there are three major problems with this setup. Firstly, this value is your P1 value, not 1% lows. Secondly, you spend 95% of the time doing nothing, which increases your FPS. Thirdly, the FPS matters most when there are smokes or people shooting at you. A 300 FPS at this time is much better experience than 2000 FPS just walking around the map. Doing this just artificially inflates your number. So here is what I want you to do. Record a 1-minute deathmatch with Steam's in-game performance overlay. Make sure you select this option. This is how you enable it. Make sure your transparency is set to quite a low value for integrity issues. Hop in a deathmatch, enable build info, and just record a video of you playing deathmatch for 1 minute and see how many times your 1% lows drop to below 150. Now I know a lot of you guys don't know what this means, so the left hand side is your average FPS, the second one is your like 1% lows.
Okay, I'm gonna do this on next stream to compare. The
third one is like the high FPS that you're getting. The graph you see is like your frame time. So I hope this helps in clarification of people who are not understanding the numbers on the screen. You can use any tweak, any setting that you want. In fact, you can drop your resolution to the lowest value possible. Try to get above 150 1% lows with any setting in a deathmatch for 1 minute. Of course, you want to be shooting at people and the server has to be populated. With that done, let us finally
Bro, this guy's smart.
come to the bugs. Now, I want you guys to kind of focus on the right hand side. Look at how long it takes for your average FPS to fall down on the right hand screen. but our 1% low and frame time graph is already kind of screwed. Now you might be asking me, well, why are you stacking Molotovs like this? It makes no sense. Of course the FPS is going to drop. Well, a lot of utility is thrown between executes. So if I go to the other side of the map and just again start throwing those Molotovs, you can see
LOL!
my FPS completely tank.
Ah, wait, but wait. He's hosting the server though. Could that be a reason as well? Because he's hosting the server on which he is. Does it happen as well if the server is hosted on another PC and he's joining? And then probably that PC is rendering everything that's happening. And does it then impact his FPS? He needs to test that. He needs to test that. Because you're doing it on the PC you're hosting the server on. Maybe that's impacting your CPU, GPU performance, and that's impacting the FPS. Maybe not. I'm not an expert. Just a thought.
And just blow it out. Like this frame time graph is horrible. Horrible. Now, let's have a look at
Oh wait, it happened to Rops though. So it happened to Rops though because Rops was on the server, nothing was happening. He was just going towards upper utility. They were pushing and everything, and that's when he had the drop in FPS. So it shouldn't be that.
CSGO, you can see if I throw the Molotov, of course my 1% lows are going to drop, but they don't drop to the same extent. You can see the frame time graph is fairly consistent. Like you can shoot, you're not going to miss many frames in between. Now let's see what happens if I go to the other side. Again, I'm going to see a little bit drop
Wait. Oh yeah, I see this, but I want to see up here.
in my 1% lows, but not as terrible as CS2. Like CS2 basically makes it impossible to peak. Now, what about spraying in smoke? You can see my 1% lows, they don't drop much often. It's fairly a stable spray. So you're spraying
And plus, he's doing this on 64 tick, bro.
feels far more consistent. Again, now what happens if I shoot the people in the head? Well, my 1% lows do drop when I shoot the people in the head in CSGO as well. Now I want to compare a whole lot of stuff. Right here I'm tagging because a lot of times when you feel like you're getting shot first, like you don't have any kind of reply. So over here you can see my 1% lows not decreasing that much. Let's compare the spray in CS2. And if there's a smoke and you're spraying and there are people present, this is how your frame time graph looks like. It's completely done. And look at my average values,
Wait,
like
I
they
didn't
don't
see.
get affected. And look at my average values, how your frame time graph looks like. It's completely done. Spraying and there are people present, this is how your frame time graph looks like. It's completely done. And look at my average values, like they don't get affected much, and that's what gives you that false sense. Any sort of tagging will reduce your 1% lows. Again, this will increase your input lag. Make sure you see less frames on your screen. This is what that 60 Hz, 120 Hz filling comes from. And any death happening on server will again decrease your 1% lows. So you can see how this can be a problem, like somebody's fighting somebody on other part of the map and throwing utility and your performance gets skewed. Let me show you kind of an example. Now, I'm not an opera. I just want you to spot a tiny difference between these two clips. So this is the first clip. And this is the second clip. Did you see that? My 1% low, even before the person pick, dropped to 162, meaning I kind of missed a frame. Or 2, or maybe 3, who knows? And in the other clip, before I shoot, I don't lose FPS. Now this is very critical because you need smooth frame tracing to kind of track enemies.
But bro, in CS2, this is my biggest problem. We can't see his ping here, right? This is my biggest problem with CS2. Look at this. I don't know if you can notice this, but this is my, like here,
because
look here. He's gonna move to the right and try to go to the left. And as soon as this guy shoots him, he like teleports to the right again. Where he wasn't, he already moved from there. This wasn't happening in CSGO. Now when you slow it down, it's not as visible as it is on like normal speed or when you're playing it. Right, look here. Now he's gonna shoot him, he's gonna move right. Wait.
Frame.
You see that? You see that? That's my biggest problem with this game. I never felt that in CSGO. I could feel being stopped, I could feel being slower, but I never had a feeling that I'm like being teleported back to where I was not. I already moved from there. Like look.
Smooth
Now.
frame.
Do you see that? Like you're lagging while playing it when somebody's shooting you. That's my biggest problem with this, bro. Because you're trying to play, and if this guy shoots you first, you're kind of like out of position. You can't react to being shot. And you can't shoot back. So it's kind of like whoever shoots first is already in an advantage. And you can see it. But it's more realistic. You want to tell me it's more realistic that I'm running and somebody shoots me and I teleport back where I was. That's what happens in real life. Yeah, I want to live in your reality, bro. I really want to live in your reality. It's realistic that I'm running, somebody shoots me, and I teleport back. 2 steps back, I teleport. And then I start running again. Bro, please, you need help. Like, you need help, bro. If that's your reality, you need help, bro. You need a psychologist to check your reality, because you ain't in reality, bro.
Pressing to kind of track enemies properly and have kind of a similar input lag, because if your input lag is going all up and down, it is really going to screw up with your aim. This is something that you must have felt when you're playing like your pistol round and you're aiming very fluidly and suddenly your mouse is just behaving very erratically, like a change in sensitivity. It's getting stuck or it's just moving too fast. So imagine this is somebody's head and you want to track it over your screen. As you can see, my 1% lows are around 500 and stuff like that. It's all good. But in your game, your mouse input lag would also behave differently. Right now, this is in windowed mode in this game, so it doesn't affect it. But your input lag would also be kind of influenced by how the player model is moving and how many frames you're getting per second, including your 1% lows. So what if I start a bit of stutter? As you can see, this is not moving in a uniform fashion anymore. It can kind of skip frames, not skip frames. So already tracking is getting kind of tricky. And since you are dropping a bit of frames, this is really going to make things worse. And now imagine your mouse has input lag and you're trying to track this target, which appears to be moving at erratic speeds. And that makes the peeker's advantage worse, because the person peeking into you, their frames are kind of getting interpolated.
Somebody needs to explain to this guy. He needs to learn the code of Source 2, the code of Subtic, the code of AnimGraph 2, and then everything here that he proven that doesn't work will make sense to him, because he will understand the code, and then the code will make sense to him to not work. And he will be like, it's designed so good that if you learn coding, you'll accept the code not working because it's so good. And while it's all happening, you're gonna have to be grabbing 2 from the CS2 developers, like most of the pros do, and sucking on them hard, and squeezing their testicles so you can like squeeze out the down your throat. That's what most of the talents are doing. Sponge, these talents, they're like sucking the balls and the testosterone out of these devs. They see them at the events and they're like sucking it. They're like sucking it hard just so they can keep a job. They're like sucking deep on it. So that's what you have to do. You have to learn the code. You gotta suck the good, and eventually you're gonna get a job and get paid like Richard Lewis. That's all.
And
this guy needs to learn that as well, bro.
Don't feel that sense of uniformity along with your horrible input lag. So long story cut short, CS2's problems are kind of bigger than just AnimGraph 2. AnimGraph 2 will definitely improve the performance, but this problem seems to be game related. Enabling, disabling, capping, or doing all this kind of weird stuff is not really going to help it. But if
this game is still so screwed up, bring back CSGO. Bro, Loba told you this 2 years ago. But you know what? You listen to a guy who's like this. Guys, trust me. December 2024, CS2 will be unrecognizable. It will be amazing, guys. I need to go run and drive my bicycle. Iron Man is waiting for me. Unlucky, guys. That's what happens when you listen to dudes who want to please people on Twitter for likes. I don't. I fuck their mothers. Unlucky.
Albeit you can record that 1 minute of that math footage, and if your FPS never drops below 150 in 1% loss, do send me that clip. In my next video, I'll be debunking some really funny myths And I'm really surprised that people actually don't test this before saying this. So I'll see you in the next video.
Yo, this guy's nice. This guy's doing good work.